Federal government appraises performance of all ongoing projects awarded to Julius Berger, taxed them on timely project delivery. In keeping with the directive of the Federal Executive Council with respect to all inherited and new projects being handled by a number of multinational companies being delayed due to issues of price differentials or poor funding, the Federal Minister of Works has opened a decisive discussion with Julius Berger PLC on all the inherited and new projects handled by them with a view to appraising their performance and take decisions on funding and milestones completion of all such awarded projects as part of the measures of the Renewed Hope administration to mitigate the sufferings of rail users at this moment of economic challenges. This was the outcome of the crucial meeting of the ministry with the management of Julius Berger PLC held at the ministry's headquarters, Abuja, on 7th August 2024. Speaking on the resolutions reached during the meeting, the Honorable Minister of Works, His Excellency Senator Engineer Mweze David Umahi CON, reiterated the firmness of the ministry on the issues of price control, commitment of contractors to project execution, value for money, and uniform pricing location by location. He decried the unacceptable condition of some of the inherited and new projects of all ongoing federal roads awarded to Julius Berger PLC, which are within the economic corridor of the nation and which were being delayed due to issues of price differentials or lack of effective funding. He listed the project affected to include the 82-kilometer by 2 dualization of section of Abuja-Kaduna Zaria-Kano Highway, currently handled by Julius Berger, the phase 2 of Lagos-Ibadan Expressway, whose pavement elements had been changed, the section 2A bypass at the second Niger bridge, whose pavement elements was changed to concrete, the Bodobani Road funded by NLNG tax credit, the underdeck structural works at Third Mainland Bridge, at the Dodo Bridge and the Kata Bridge. The Honorable Minister urged the contractor to be open to a mutually agreed modality for milestone execution and funding of the projects at reviewed rates as may be agreed upon and approved by Federal Executive Council.
Our job is to develop this mechanism based on Fed directives, but the conclusion we have to involve the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of Economy, and finally we take our recommendation back to Mr. President and of course FEC for consideration.
On the section of Abuja-Kaduna Zaria-Kano Road agreed to be handled by Julius Berger PLC, he commended the quality of work being done but directed the contractor to stick to one carriageway at a time within the scope and conclude their works. The contractor was further directed to, within 3 weeks, fill the 2 carriageways with stone base and level it to alleviate the sufferings of rail users.
And we agreed that this project within their own corridor will last 40 months, and it will also be deployed in 4 sections, and we'll be paying them 20 billion every month to get the job concluded.
On the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway Phase 2, he said the ministry had no choice but to determine the contract and asked Bureau of Public Procurement for no objection for selective tendering.
We've been renegotiating with them on Lagos-Ibadan, since September last year. And we've come to a crossroads where our total, cost, and we've changed the elements of the pavement from asphalt to concrete, and the total cost we came up with based on prevailing cost is 153 billion. But they're offering 258 billion. Because we've been on this since September, we have no choice than to determine this contract. And they asked BPP for no objection for selective tendering, whereby we will be sending our own advice of 153 billion to BPP, and we send their own of 258 to BPP, and then invite other contractors to also bid. And this we will conclude within the next 1 month so that we can get that job concluded.
On the second Niger bridge bypass handled by Julius Berger PLC, he said,
we have 2 sections. We have the bridge completed but not deployed because the bypasses are not done. So The last administration awarded Section A to them, which is 17.27 kilometers by 2 on asphalt. We changed the elements to concrete, and the cost that we came up with was 133 billion. And in fact, have given us twice the cost, which is 279 billion. We have disagreed with this cost, and the time of negotiation since September, we've also decided to get the project back to BPP and invite more contractors to also bid, because this public fund, and so the BPP would be the determinant before FEC. So if they quote the 279 or review it downwards and submit to us and we submit to BPP, that would be encouraging, so that other contractors that have the same capacity will also be able to bid.
On the Bodoboni project being funded by NLNG tax credit, the Honorable Minister expressed concerns that Julius Berger PLC, though had mobilized back to site after additional cost of 80 billion naira was approved for the work, but to reports showed that their pace of work was slow. He was further worried that they came up with a longer timeline of 16 months within which to deliver the project against the December 2024 deadline proposed by the ministry.
Finally, we agreed on additional cost of 80 billion, which will bring the project to about 280 billion. Fixed and non-varying with the unit rates agreed. We have not agreed on the timing, because we said 15th of December. They are coming up with 16 months, which is not acceptable to us. We believe by the time they come back this evening, we'll be able to extend our own expected completion period, but not 60 months.
He urged the contractor to shift ground to a shorter timeline for the sake of the people. Concerning the underdeck structural works at Third Mainland Bridge, Ido Bridge and Kata Bridge in Lagos State, he commended the contractor for doing a fantastic job.
The job that is going under the deck in Ido Bridge in Lagos, Kata Bridge and the Third Mainland Bridge, doing fantastic work there. We have no problems on pricing. We've paid 30% due to the intervention of Mr. President. They are working, and we've directed that each time they put certificate and we still have funds, within 7 days this will be paid. Because this job they are doing, they are very critical. If I've taken the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy through those projects, and for 53 years those bridges were constructed, no maintenance, and so the deterioration is so horrible and frightening. And right now we've closed the Third Mainland Bridge against big trucks.
On the Dupani Road in Cross River State,
the Odupani in Cross River, we have gotten an increment from Federal Executive Council to increase their project by 36 billion. Thereby raising the project cost from 54 billion to 90 billion. This was just approved a few days back. We want to know their response on that. Yes, we have agreed to change the construction to concrete. And our position is that they have to engage on one carriageway when we agree on this. And it's when we agree on all these ones where we do not have complete funding that we can enter into the second phase of what FEC directed, and that is to discuss about funding mechanism.
In his remarks, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Yakubu Adam Kufaramata PhD, stated that some of the ongoing road projects handled by contractors required emergency works to alleviate the sufferings of road users, and assured that all the supervising engineers will be on their toes to ensure that the ministry's policy of operation-free roads was carried out by all the contractors handling federal government roads nationwide. On the section of Abuja-Kaduna Zaria-Kano Highway handled by Julius Berger PLC, he said,
information and requests that we've been getting from Nigerians flying Abuja to Kano, especially Abuja to Kaduna Road, the number of big bridges that have been created on that road, and with the permission of the Honorable Minister and his candid approval, to kindly request Julius Berger to see what they can do within 3 days to maximum 1 week. All craters and potholes on that road must be filled up.
This was signed by Honorable Barrister Oji Uchenna Oji, Special Advisor Media to the Honorable Minister of Works.